I want to talk more about why so many of us find female bosses to be amongst the most toxic and damaging that we've ever had in our career. So, speaking from personal experience, I mean, guys, I've had some bad bosses in my career, and I'll tell you more about some of those another time. But in particular, I had this one female boss who decided that they had to lead like a man in order to be successful. And by man, I actually mean a stereotypical toxic alpha male, all the wrong reasons, all the wrong behaviors. But that was the decision they made. For me, that made my life miserable. We didn't relate at all on a personal level and on a professional level. Every day was charged and
We've seen this with also like female leaders, right? The queens back in the days, and it said that, women in power were more likely to engage in wars and things like that. It's an inferiority complex. Now we see it in the workplace. And the question that I ask is it really their fault? A system that was built for men, by men, women have now been integrated into that system. And they feel like they have to prove themselves. They have to show that they're worthy. It's kind of deep. And then it comes out in really misogynistic ways. The way they treat their female subordinates.
frustrating and upsetting for me because I couldn't seem to get it right. She wanted things from me that I simply couldn't give her. But here's what I know in retrospect. And by the way, this person really, really did a number on my confidence at the time. But I have recovered since then, and I want to share some of my insights. But here's what I've learned since then. This person was fantastic at their job. So on a functional level, A star, they were brilliant at what they did, but they weren't a great leader. I can see that now in hindsight, and they were in a leadership position. One of the reasons for this, and this is why I focus on this so much in my coaching, it's actually the foundation of all of my leadership coaching, is that they lacked self-awareness and they lacked the capacity to be self-reflective in any way. So they would never sit and think about their behavior. They would simply barrel on through the day and didn't really matter what damage they caused in their wake. Being self-aware as a leader means that you are able to reflect on who you are, the good and the not so good. So yes, think about your strengths and your skills. Also think about any biases or blind spots that may be getting in the way you being a really effective and empathetic leader. This person didn't have any of those capabilities. It was pretty clear to me now. This is not to excuse their behavior. I have sought to understand it over the years, and that's why I now coach and teach self-reflection and self-awareness as the first step on your leadership journey. Can you relate to any of this? If you've ever had a boss like that, male or female, do you think they're just not self-aware?
And I think even though that may be the case, right? It doesn't excuse the behavior like this lady says, but it gives you an insight to why that may be the case. Because this isn't a niche topic. This isn't a niche topic. This is like universal, global. Women do not like working under other women.
It's so annoying when you go to work and you just go there, you mind your business, you're there for a check, and you come across females that don't like you. And they just don't like you for no apparent reason. And it's like, I always dealt with this in school, but in the workplace, it's like if you are quiet, you mind your business, and don't let you be pretty, all of those, you're always going to have bitches that don't like you. And it's like, how did minding your business and being quiet get you hated on? It's crazy. And most of the time, they don't like you for no apparent reason. It's just your aura. It's like the way you carry yourself. You could come to work and you take care of yourself, and now all of a sudden they don't like you. Like, grow up and love yourself, especially when nobody does anything to
I
you.
always say this I've been fortunate enough in the workplace to where I've only had one bad boss. There were two, but they were one. They were both in the same position. It was a man and a woman. They were just incompetent, right? But even in that place, everyone who was senior above me or had been there for a long time that I looked up to were women, right? All of my bosses, pretty much, my direct bosses, have been women. To the point where when I went for a new job, if my boss wasn't a woman, I would be upset. Not because I had bad experiences with male bosses, but my experiences with my female bosses were just that good. We became that close. References for 5, 6, 7 years after, keeping in contact. But again, the dynamics are clearly different.
Wall Street Journal put out a fascinating article on female managers with an analysis of people who prefer to have a female manager broken out by age and gender. Unsurprisingly, the highest rate of people who prefer to have a female manager are women between the ages of 18 and 29, and this shrinks drastically. So by the time women are in the latter stages of their career, they are much more likely to prefer to have a male boss.
Now, what does this say? Women go into the workforce with the idea of course, I'd like to work under a woman. That makes total sense. I want to work under a woman. Like, I'm a woman, she's a woman. Yeah, I want to work under a woman. And then they get to working under women, and then they're like, whoa, this ain't it, coach.
I could write an entire book on the woes of having a female boss, but no one prepares you for the one-sided beef, the documentation, the micromanaging, the jealousy they feel towards you, and how protective they are of their own roles and their own positions. Nobody prepares you, especially as a childless woman who is 40, no one prepares you for them and their little microaggressions towards being childless, being queer in the workplace, and having the nerve to be attractive, well put together, and well spoken. Oh my gosh. So, you can tell where I am in life. I'm pretty frustrated with the way of the world. And I very much would like a male boss.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I am so traumatized from female bosses. Like, it's so bad to the point where, like, any job I work, I pray that they put me with a male boss. Like, I already know, like, if I get matched with a female boss, it's gonna be some bullshit. Like, I'm already knowing that, like, I'm gonna have to dim my light. I can't dress like a corporate baddie. Like, I gotta, like, look a little ugly on purpose, you feel me? Not attract as much attention. Like, literally, like, it's like, and I wish it wasn't like this. And, like, I was trying to explain this to my boyfriend, bro. And, like, he was just like, well, you know, you got bills to pay, so you gotta make it work. And I'm like, bro, like, you don't get it. Like, it don't matter, like, what you do. It don't matter how good you are at your job. It don't matter how nice you are. Like, if your boss is a woman and she's not securing herself and she sees a bitch like this working under her, I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. It's going to be some issues. It's going to be some issues. And no matter how good I am at my job, they going to find a way to get me out of there. Like, you could be the best performer, but, like, I'm telling you, like, when women are in positions of power and they're not securing themselves, like, it's like they don't make logical decisions. They don't make, like, the right decisions that would actually, like, be beneficial for the company or even their own, like, department or whatever the case may be. Like, they literally make decisions that don't fucking make sense, because when somebody feels like envy or jealousy, they start doing shit that don't make fucking sense, like, literally. And, like, they don't realize that it's jealousy or envy. And then it's like, when you try to, like, say that at work, it's like people look at you like you're fucking conceited, like, and it's like, no, I'm not fucking, but it's real though, like, bro, like, like, I don't know.
If you're working with a woman, right, two women are working together, but they're equal, they're on equal footing, it makes total sense why they'd view each other as competition. They could be going for the same, positions in the future, whatever the case is. That makes sense. But when you're above someone, viewing your subordinates as competition is crazy. But the competition, it isn't about work, like this woman mentioned. It isn't about work. It's about different things. It's about how they look and their aura and, you know, their personal life and all this shit. I have an auntie. She hates female. Like, you know it's real bad. We're at a family gathering. Asked hey auntie, like how's work? What how's work? I've got another female boss. I'm like, oh god. That's it. I didn't ask about nothing. I just said, how's work? Goes on this rant about female bosses. She just can't stand them. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, damn. It's been like the bane of her whole career.
I'd rather work with men than women. Now, hear me out. I know y'all like, oh no, I'm out of here. Listen to my theory. Have you ever had a female manager that was nice to you? I'll wait. No. Exactly. I have never had a female manager that was nice to me. I never had a work environment full of women and it was no drama.
Where are the female managers? I want the female managers to come out and talk about this, man. Where are the female managers? We need some justification. We need some words.
I love working with men. They make the workplace drama free. Let's just say that. They make the workplace drama free. They have a very great sense of humor at work. And men don't bring their home drama to work. Women, we bring our drama from home to work. We do. I did. Every woman will. Any type of stress they got going on in their personal life, anybody pisses off at work, they could get it. That's not how men really operate. Anytime I work with a lot of women, it was always fucking drama.
Men are actually the opposite. A man's whole life will be crumbling. You don't even know. He could just shows up to work every day. Did you hear? Jeff's wife is divorcing him and taking the house? What? Jeff's just in the corner. You have no idea. That nigga's dying inside.
Let me give y'all an example. So before I owned my salons, I worked at a barbershop. The best thing I could ever do for myself. I worked at the barbershop. The men in the barbershop was so chill. They were so chill. Every time they got money, they was buying us liquor at the barbershop. We was drinking. They was asking me if I want something to eat when they go get some lunch. It was so chill. Like, we was vibing to music. The only time there was drama is when they baby mamas would come and try to argue with them and fight with them because they was cheating on their baby mamas. Like, and we would be looking like, oh my gosh. Like, what the hell? It was so chill. Now, when I left the barbershop, when I decided to open up my salon, I was surrounded by so much women at my salon.
Wait, this is a female manager. You're the female. Are you the very same manager that you spoke down on? Let's see.
It was drama every single day. It was the customers cursing out the hairstylists and the hairstylists cursing out each other, and somebody didn't like this, and oh, why you did this, why you keep using my brush, why you keep using my hairspray, oh, you're annoying, oh, your man want me. It was so much drama. They were coming in the salon with their eye blacked out because their baby father would beat them up, and then they would literally take out their anger out on supplies. They would be pumping mad soap in their hand on purpose. They would be arguing with clients. Women are full of fucking drama. I never wanted to work with women ever again. Like, as soon as my salons closed, I was like, nope. I'd rather work with men. Running a salon or working in an environment full of women, whether you work at Macy's full of women, whether you work in Victoria's Secret full of women, whether you work at an office space full of women bring a lot of fucking drama. And I always told myself, if I was to ever go back to the workplace, I would only work with men. And it's not because I'm male-centered. It's because I know that having a lot of men at a workplace gives me balance. Okay? it allows me to not have to curse nobody out. Like, it's very rare you're cursing a man out unless he's sassy. Like, so that sassy is half of a woman, to be quite honest. But I will never work in an environment full of women ever again. Let me know how y'all feel about this, because a lot of y'all work in environments full of women and it's probably drama. You probably get headaches going home. You probably be annoyed. If you are the type to feel as if working with women is annoying, just work with men.
You guys know I worked in care 5 years, predominantly women. In my whole time working in care, I had 5 or 6 male co-workers. 5 or 6 male co-workers. Everyone is pretty much a minority. There was one British lady, she was a manager of one of the care homes. Minority women is what I'm working with. And there is drama, I can't lie. I used to work nights, so I wasn't really involved. I'd come in when the day shift is ended, and I'd be informed of all the shit that's going on. And I'd always just keep it stepping, man. Firstly, I'm not that type of person. But secondly, this isn't my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for, a short time, not a long time. I'm here to get the bag. The job is already what it is. I don't need more. I don't need all that stuff, okay? So I was never involved, which is, again, another reason why I feel like I got along with all the women really, really well. But you guys in the comments, let me know. Let me know, the ladies as well. Have you had this experience?
This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone. Blowing weed, smoking the ozone. I just can't let this go. This liquor got me in my zone. Now I'm blowing up your phone. Blowing weed, smoking the